Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ruby Tarot. Thank you for always following and supporting the channel. The moment you come across this video is the perfect time for you to receive its message. On this channel, I bring you insights into what's about to unfold in your life. When you welcome and believe in the positive, you are also connecting with a parallel world where your desires have already come true. Today, through this reading, I hope to help you open up to the possibilities of the future and support you on your journey to pursue love and manifest your heart's desires. The topic of today's reading is the energy and outlook for the first half of June. I've drawn 3 cards corresponding to Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Please take a moment to listen to your intuition and choose the card you feel most drawn to. Then, click on the timestamp in the video description to go directly to your reading. Now, let's begin with those of you who have made your choice. Hello to those who chose Pile 1. Thank you for your patience. Now, let's begin your reading. I hope this message brings you healing, new awareness, and moments filled with love. The theme of this reading is your journey through the first half of June. First, let's take a look at the overall flow of energy during this time. The cards that appeared are Justice and the King of Wands. I will draw a few more cards to get a clearer picture of your current situation. It seems that the things you once believed you had to do in a certain way, those rigid beliefs you imposed upon yourself, are now beginning to lose their grip on you. For example, societal rules, traditional norms, the things adults taught you when you were young, the words of your superiors, the teachings of your mentors, everything you once thought you were supposed to follow, are now met with a shift in perspective. You're starting to feel, it's okay. I no longer need to be confined by decisions made by others. You're about to step onto the path that leads to the kind of success you truly desire, moving toward the world your heart has long yearned for. At the same time, I see a striking image. You will surpass those you once thought you could never outshine. The people you once saw as rivals, those you believed were unbeatable, will now find you rising above them, taking the lead. But this doesn't happen because you followed someone else's rules. It happens because you acted from your own intuition, guided by your inspiration and creative energy. Another powerful keyword in this reading is the explosive speed and impulsive drive to take action. In other words, instead of carefully planning every step as you used to, you may now find yourself saying, "Forget it, I'm just going to go for it," and jumping into action with a sense of spontaneity and natural momentum. In the past, you may have been the kind of person who always thought things through before taking action. Even when a wave of inspiration struck, you would sit down to analyze, reconsider, make detailed plans, and seek advice from others. No matter how exciting or appealing something seemed, you often found yourself hesitating when it came to taking that final step. But now, you're being urged to truly act. You're no longer being held back. Your energy is becoming bold, decisive, and ready to break through. This shift may be happening because you're freeing yourself from something, or perhaps something that once held you down is finally letting you go. That release is what enables you to make such firm, clear-cut decisions. Because of this, the first half of June looks to be a period filled with dynamic, positive changes. Not only will external events begin to shift, but your inner emotional world will also stir with powerful momentum. The longing to live authentically and pursue what you truly desire will rise with clarity. You'll begin to sense the outline of your future forming, something like, maybe this is what my future is meant to look like. Because of this shift, you may find yourself wanting to take on things that carry a bit of risk, things you might have hesitated to try before. But this time, you're ready to take the leap, to boldly go after something daring. The energy within you is rising so strongly that you no longer want to delay. And you have the strength to do it. The cards clearly show that you possess the necessary energy to face challenges and act with clarity and determination. However, I can also sense that something is currently causing a great deal of inner fluctuation. It feels like you're being swept up in things that don't truly belong to you, or pulled in different directions by what's happening around you. Your heart feels unsettled. Emotional instability is clearly present. You may be slipping into negative thinking or feeling emotionally off balance. The current energy appears to be strongly influenced by astrological movements, specifically the recent new moon in Gemini and Saturn's transition into Aries. These shifts are stirring the energetic atmosphere, and you're being swept up in those waves, leading to inner turbulence and emotional wavering. What I sense here is a feeling of emptiness, perhaps a lack of love, and on a deeper level, a lack of love directed toward yourself. Until now, you've always been the giver. You've poured your love into others, believing that by giving, you would be loved in return. But now, it's time to turn that love inward. You may have started to notice that something within you feels depleted, something that needs to be heard and healed. And this is the moment for you to begin filling that space from within. This period marks a transition, a turning point where you begin to love yourself not because you are selfish or turning away from others, but because you deserve to be nourished from the inside out. In the past, you may have lived according to others' expectations, constantly tuned into their emotions, desires, and hopes. You've tried hard to please everyone around you, and while that's a beautiful trait, it has also consumed a great deal of your energy. Perhaps you're tired now. You might feel empty, as if you've given so much that you've forgotten to replenish yourself. The cards suggest that you've been pouring out your energy, not just recently, but possibly for the past few years. You've always tried, always cared deeply for others. And now your body, your heart, and your soul are whispering, it's time to rest. It's time to return to yourself. Right now, the message coming through is crystal clear. You are in need of replenishment, of receiving, of being nourished from the outside in. Perhaps recently you've started doing things that seem simple but are deeply meaningful for your soul, like taking time to watch a movie after a long break, strolling through a museum, or connecting with others and listening to their stories. Maybe you've found yourself buying books, not necessarily to read all at once, but simply to be surrounded by new knowledge and ideas. Many of you are beginning to shift your focus toward activities that nurture your inner world. The current energetic flow shows that this is perfectly aligned with your journey. This is a time when the light is shining directly on you, a phase in which you're beginning to turn inward, to place your attention and priority on yourself. And perhaps, in order for you to truly center yourself in this way, the universe has led you through situations that caused discomfort or even heartbreak. As unpleasant as those experiences may have been, they served as catalysts, helping you recognize the chains that have held you back, the limiting beliefs that whispered you had to be a certain way to be accepted, or that you needed to do certain things to be worthy of love or recognition. All of that is now being released. And from that release, you're beginning to hear your true voice more clearly, the voice of your inner axis, the core that compels you to act not for anyone else, but because your heart tells you so. The first half of June marks a time when you're ready for a shift, a time to challenge yourself, to move forward from a foundation rooted in your authentic self, no longer influenced by expectations, conventions, or fears as before. Keywords like liberation and inner depth define the spirit of this phase. Now, I'll draw one card to clarify the overall theme of this reading. And the card that appears is the full moon. The full moon is a symbol of fulfillment, of energy coming into its fullness. It signals that this is a time when you can reach a state of inner abundance, of feeling complete and nourished from within. At the same time, the moon represents feminine energy, so during this period, you are encouraged to live in tune with your feelings, to trust the natural movements within you, to follow your intuition and the stirrings that arise from your heart. This is the time for you to tend to your own emotions, do whatever helps you feel whole again. If you're feeling drained, overwhelmed, or exhausted, focus on recharging your energy and pouring love back into yourself. Nurture healthy habits, create space and time dedicated solely to loving and caring for yourself. When you're filled with love, you naturally become more confident. You no longer feel the need to change yourself just to fit in with others or to force yourself into molds just to be accepted. You'll be able to say, with clarity and peace, "This is who I am," and still connect with the world around you from a place of sincerity and ease. That's exactly why this theme is so important, because it brings you back to your true inner strength. So try directing your attention there, to your feelings, to what makes you feel whole, to the love you offer yourself. Now, let's move into a more detailed part of the reading, starting with your work, the things you're pursuing, your goals and dreams. The card that appears is Otter, associated with the water element. Accompanying it is the Fortress card, a truly beautiful combination. And indeed, everything seems to be unfolding along a natural current, as if part of a journey. This moment carries the energy of the full moon. And yes, the full moon also symbolizes the manifestation of wishes. So, in this reading, the theme of achieving results is strongly emphasized. In terms of work, it looks like the things you've been pouring effort into for quite some time are finally taking shape. Projects or goals that once felt stuck or stagnant may now begin to move with unexpected ease, and you'll receive exactly the outcome you've been hoping for. It's truly wonderful. I can feel it very clearly. This is the moment that has finally arrived. It's as if, in the first half of June, something will reach completion. Everything you've worked for, everything you've endured with persistence. This may not yet be the final victory, but it marks an important milestone, a moment where you can say, this part of the journey is done, and begin preparing for a new chapter. Of course, not everyone will experience this in the exact same way, but I feel certain that some of you are standing right at that point, the point of connection and harvest. Not just the blooming and fruition of your efforts, but also a closure, a sense of completion. Perhaps what carries special meaning right now is precisely the act of ending something. If you're feeling like it's time to turn the page, then allowing yourself to finish, to close, or to walk away from something in the first half of June will be the right move. And from that closing, a new current will begin to flow for you. It seems you don't need to exert yourself or push too hard. Simply follow the current that is approaching, and everything will unfold smoothly on its own. Even this flow isn't necessarily something you planned or expected. It just arrives effortlessly. So instead of trying to strategize or act with rigid structure, though such an approach certainly has its place in the practical world, this time, it's not about that kind of movement. When I look at this part of your journey, I clearly sense a rhythm guided by feeling. You might suddenly think, maybe I should go there, or it's time to part ways with this person. I've enjoyed what we shared, but now I'm ready to move on. Things happen as spontaneous, gentle transitions, unforced, organic shifts guided not by obligation, but by a quiet inner knowing. What's striking here is that you don't seem to be overly focused on the destination. There's no clearly defined plan for where this journey ends. You're simply following your feelings. That's why I believe the first half of June will be a time when you act based on emotion and instinct, and that, in fact, is the best approach right now. Everything will flow naturally. You'll see results. And then, you'll step into a new challenge. It's an ending and also a beginning. That's the core message I feel coming through. Now, I'm drawing one more card to see what guidance the guardian angels have for your work, a message specifically for this area. And it seems the message wants to be emphasized even more. The full moon card has appeared once again. The message that comes with it is, take a break, you've been working very hard. Now is the time to rest and recharge. This message couldn't be more true. Not only does the card say rest, but the energy of effortless is also speaking to you. When you push yourself too hard, even things that should come easily can become blocked. But the truth is, you've already put in so much effort for so long. That's why now is the moment to allow yourself some pause. You genuinely need rest. Let yourself relax. The image on the card shows someone in a deep sleep, and that alone says it all. The message is clear. You no longer need to force things forward. The current flow will carry you in the right direction. Just relax and allow things to unfold naturally. Especially in the first half of this month, it's best to avoid overloading your schedule. In your work, operating at about 70% of your full capacity is enough. There's no need to push yourself to the limit. Leave space, perhaps 30% of your calendar, open. That way, if spontaneous inspiration arises or unexpected invitations come your way, you'll be able to receive them with ease. This is how you can move through the month smoothly, without burnout or overwhelm. This message is being delivered with great clarity. However, I also sense another quiet voice whispering, some of you might not be comfortable with the idea of rest. Some may say, I don't really enjoy resting, or I don't know how to relax, or even, taking a day off with nothing to do makes me feel restless. And that, too, is completely valid. So, choose to rest in your own way. There's no need to do it like anyone else. As long as it brings you a sense of ease and helps you recharge, that's all that matters. If you're the kind of person who feels restless when doing nothing at all, you might prefer activities that allow you to relax while still being gently engaged, like listening to soothing music, reading a favorite book, or simply enjoying a good meal and a glass of wine in a cozy atmosphere with friends. For those who find it uncomfortable to force themselves into complete stillness, don't push yourself into a kind of silence that feels unnatural, because that may end up creating more pressure instead of helping you unwind. Choose a form of rest that aligns with your personality and preferences, a way to release tension that genuinely feels good and comfortable to you. Now, let's move into the next part of the reading, which is about love and relationships. We'll take a look at two groups. First, those of you who have someone on your mind or are currently in a relationship, and second, those who are hoping to welcome a new connection into their life. The cards that have just appeared carry messages of passion and devotion. For those of you who are currently seeing someone or are in a relationship, an intriguing detail is that all three cards depict an image of someone quietly observing, as if they're watching something or someone. The overall feeling radiating from these cards suggests that you might be in a phase of maintaining the status quo. You may have something you wish to express to this person, a message, a feeling, a thought, but it remains unspoken. Perhaps you're hesitating or waiting for a more appropriate moment. It's also possible that you're watching how they react, waiting for them to make the first move. Ultimately, this seems to be a time when both individuals are keeping a safe distance, each holding something they want to say, yet both choosing silence in order to maintain the current rhythm. For those of you contemplating a breakup, the guidance for the first half of June is this: maintain a certain distance, a sense of calm, and a higher perspective, almost as if you were observing the whole situation from above, with objectivity. Avoid rushing in, avoid direct confrontations or excessive questioning. Instead, adopt a stance of quiet observation, patience, and deep listening so you can gain a clearer understanding of what is truly unfolding within your relationship. At the same time, there is also a strong emotional current rising within you during this period. You may find yourself powerfully drawn to this person. It might feel impossible to take your eyes off them, with an increasing desire to be close, to understand them, to reconnect. The cards' passion, devotion, and the repeated imagery of longing gazes all point toward an undeniable pull in your heart, as if you're being magnetically drawn toward them with growing intensity. And this isn't happening by chance. When I asked why you're feeling such a strong pull toward this person, the Two of Cups appeared. This is one of the most beautiful cards in love readings, a symbol of soulful connection, mutual understanding, and emotional reciprocity. It speaks of harmony, union, romantic partnership, and even the potential for commitment, deep trust, and building something lasting together. This means that in the near future, something incredibly sweet is likely to unfold between the two of you, a positive step forward that makes it impossible for your heart to drift away. It's because the emotions are growing so strongly and so promisingly that you're feeling this longing, this anticipation, and this powerful attraction. Congratulations, this is a truly beautiful sign of a love that's beginning to blossom. When asking why you're being drawn to them so intensely, the answer that emerged is something tender and full of love. This truly is a relationship immersed in romantic feelings, worthy of celebration. Everything is flowing in an incredibly positive direction, so allow yourself to enjoy it. There is nothing to worry about at all. However, as I mentioned earlier, if there's something important you wish to express to this person, a heartfelt message, a lingering thought, it might not be the most ideal moment to say it just yet. When the timing isn't right, even the most sincere words can unintentionally disrupt a connection that's otherwise flowing smoothly. There's a risk that trust between the two of you may be shaken if the bond is interrupted by a conversation that arrives prematurely. That's why I want to emphasize the importance of communication, and especially the sensitivity required in choosing the right moment to speak. Sometimes it's not about what you say being wrong, but when you choose to say it. Try to observe this person from a broader perspective, from a higher vantage point, so you can better understand the emotional space they are in. Of course, your feelings and desires matter deeply. You have every right to express them, but take a moment to consider their situation and emotional state. When you do that, you'll know when the timing is truly ripe to open your heart. Moreover, a fresh breeze is beginning to blow through this relationship. Even if you're already with someone, there's a strong possibility that in the near future, your feelings of love will be rekindled, just like when it all began. This doesn't necessarily mean you'll meet someone new. Rather, you may find yourself falling in love all over again with the very person who has been by your side, your partner, your spouse, or your longtime lover. Something might happen, perhaps a few days apart, a pause in communication, and that temporary distance will awaken something within you. It may stir your emotions, quicken your heartbeat, and make you feel alive once more in the familiar rhythm of your relationship. You may find yourself missing them, feeling moved again, sensing a renewal in the connection you thought you already knew so well. And that is something truly beautiful, a love reborn, emotions blooming once more. All of it is waiting just ahead of you. No matter what, this is a time when emotions between you and the other person are gradually coming into harmony, when hearts are beginning to beat in sync. So, if there's something you want to share, something you wish to express, pay close attention to their current state. Try to sense their thoughts, feelings, and circumstances before you speak. With sensitivity and sincerity, you'll be able to convey your message in the most complete and heartfelt way. Everything is unfolding beautifully. How wonderful that is. Now we move on to the message for those of you who are seeking love. And immediately, the honeymoon card appears. This is truly something to celebrate, a very auspicious sign for matters of the heart. Following that is the changing winds card, accompanied by the message, fall in love. It seems that love is indeed on its way, doesn't it? Whether or not you currently have someone in mind, the energy of love is flowing strongly here. Even if you're someone who usually doesn't pay much attention to romance, during this time, you may find something softly knocking on the door of your heart, a sense of deep connection, a gentle stirring that is easily felt, easily understood, and warmly received. You may also reconnect with someone you've longed to see again, a reunion filled with emotion. Especially for those of you seeking love, the energy here carries the feeling of, this person has always been near. Someone familiar, someone close, perhaps someone you already know. It could be a dear friend, someone who's always been by your side, and now, in a quiet moment, you suddenly realize that love has quietly taken root in your heart. There's also the possibility of receiving a confession of love from someone unexpected, someone within your close circle, someone whose presence has always made you feel safe and at ease. The changing winds card appears in reverse, which suggests that this shift won't be dramatic or overwhelming, but rather a soft breeze, a gentle change that doesn't disturb, but instead cradles your spirit with tenderness. In other words, love is not arriving like a crashing wave, but like a warm stream, familiar, soothing, and capable of bringing a quiet smile to your face. This is a beautiful time to open your heart, to love, or to receive the genuine emotions from someone who's been quietly standing beside you all along. In other words, this doesn't feel like a dramatic, cinematic kind of love, the kind where you meet in a whirlwind of surprise and passion. On the contrary, the feeling here is gentle and grounded. There's a chance you may find yourself drawn to someone you never expected to be attracted to before, someone who isn't your usual type, or perhaps the kind of person you've never dated. And yet, this time, everything begins in such a calm, tender way. There are no intense emotional waves, no inner chaos, just something soft, soothing, like a cool breeze brushing gently through your heart. The image of the frog in the card also brings to mind the possibility of reconnecting with someone from the past, perhaps a person you once loved, or a friend from your school days with whom you shared a deep connection. You may encounter them again at some unexpected moment, and the feelings you once had might quietly resurface. All of this points to the idea that the past may be gently stirred, opening the door for a renewed connection to blossom. And this is where the guidance comes in, chance fortune. In other words, you're being encouraged to seize this opportunity. Clearly, a stroke of romantic luck or a meaningful soul connection is approaching you. Love, or at the very least a beautiful bond, is being orchestrated for you by the universe. It's as if an invisible hand, like that of Cupid, is quietly watching over you, weaving a subtle connection between you and this person. What matters most is this: you don't have to try too hard. Everything seems to be unfolding in a natural flow. Whether in love or in work, the lesson for you this time is, don't force things, don't feel the need to make it happen. The most beautiful outcomes can arise from what's already close to you, even from people you've known before. There's no need to search far and wide, no need to throw yourself out there in pursuit of love, because love may already be right beside you. Exactly, it feels as though luck and opportunity will come when you are relaxed and open to receiving. There's no need to chase, no need to strive, just take it easy and keep your heart open, and the good things will naturally find their way to you. Next, let's move on to the section, things you need to be mindful of in the coming period. The Tower card has appeared in reverse. The imagery of this card brings a gentle warning: be cautious around objects that could fall from above. For example, when passing near construction sites or areas under maintenance, even if there's no immediate danger, being a little more aware can help you avoid unexpected incidents. Likewise, if you work with machinery or in spaces where others are operating at a height, make sure you're keeping yourself safe. However, there is also a deeper layer of meaning to this card. You may encounter an unpleasant situation that you didn't cause, such as suffering the consequences of someone else's mistake, becoming entangled in a misunderstanding, or getting drawn into unnecessary drama. This brings to mind an important reflection. Sometimes, your kindness and compassion can unintentionally place you in situations that are more troublesome than they need to be. You may be someone who is deeply compassionate, someone who genuinely cares for others and naturally feels compelled to help whenever you see someone in trouble. But in the coming days, be mindful of this instinct. Don't let your kindness be taken advantage of, and avoid getting pulled into situations that have nothing to do with you, especially gossip, drama, or the sense that you must save someone at all costs. Keep your kindness, but also know where to draw the line. Misplaced generosity or being too soft-hearted can sometimes lead to exhaustion or unexpected trouble. That's why, in the days ahead, the key is this: stay kind, but let that kindness be guided by clarity and discernment. Keeping your distance from such situations will help you avoid unnecessary complications. For example, in environments where many people gather, whether in real life or on social media, if you see someone attacking or criticizing another, it's best not to get involved. Even if you're not the type to usually engage in such things, everyone has moments when emotions run high, especially if you're already carrying unspoken frustrations or discomfort. That inner tension can make it easier to get swept up in the collective emotional wave. In moments like that, you may feel the urge to speak out, to take a stand, or to express something, yet this is precisely when caution is most needed. Pay attention to those fleeting emotional surges. If you notice something around you being cheered on or strongly supported by the majority, take a moment to ask yourself, is this truly right? Don't rush to agree with the crowd just because everyone else seems to. And especially if you witness others speaking ill of someone, attacking, or passing judgment, the best thing you can do is stay out of it. Even if you secretly agree, choose silence. Maintain your own perspective, but do so with grace and subtlety. Choosing not to react, not to engage, is itself a way of showing that you're not being pulled into that negative energy. Because the Tower card carries the energy of sudden upheaval and shocking events, this is a period when you need to stay especially grounded so as not to be drawn into chaos, scandal, or emotionally charged drama fueled by impulsive reactions or crowd influence. Keep your mind clear and don't allow yourself to be swept away by unhealthy energies or distorted narratives. This is the best way to protect your inner peace. All of these messages can help you avoid unnecessary trouble. Try becoming a bit more mindful. For instance, when walking outside, be aware of what's above your head to avoid objects that might fall unexpectedly. And on that note, speaking of looking up at the sky, I suddenly received a very special impression. Someone may see a UFO in the near future. Yes, because when I mentioned looking up, a very clear sensation came through. Look to the sky. In truth, UFO sightings are becoming increasingly common, especially during this time, as open contact, the activation of open communication between dimensions, is beginning to unfold. These cosmic beings are showing us many signs. So, try to make it a habit to look up at the sky. This is a message I've received from extraterrestrial entities, and I feel called to share it with you. Now then, let's return to our story. I'll draw a few cards to reveal your lucky colors for the upcoming period. Yellow supports cleansing the body and releasing negative energy. Silver enhances romance, helping you nurture persistence and emotional endurance in love. Brilliance metallic shine helps you radiate your inner light and discover your own brilliance, especially beneficial for work and career. In terms of health, the card strategy has appeared. This suggests that you should approach your well-being with a clear plan. Be more proactive in maintaining your physical condition. If you've been feeling fatigued lately, noticing physical imbalances, or experiencing prolonged sleep disturbances, understand that these are not just isolated symptoms. They may actually be keys that open a new doorway in your healing and transformation journey. Every experience your body is signaling right now, even the smallest discomfort, is a part of your growth journey. Listen to your body sincerely and take the time to realign your rhythm, habits, and mindset. This is not just about taking care of your health, it is a doorway into a deeper awakening. The changes you're currently going through, including health imbalances, are in fact essential parts of your awakening. If during the first half of June, you notice signs of fatigue, decreased vitality, or even experience a mild illness, try not to worry. And if you're already in the midst of such a phase, know that it's all part of a profound transformation process. Even viruses, from an energetic perspective, can be seen as catalysts that help reset the bioinformation within the human system. It's like a rewriting of DNA, a restructuring of the body to adapt to new frequencies. Right now, the human body is gradually shifting into the light body, a body of light, to become attuned to the vibrations of the new earth. And that transformation often involves phases of cleansing, periods of rest, and energetic recalibration from within. There have been many people, previously in excellent health, who hadn't experienced a cold or illness for years, who suddenly came down with a fever around December last year or January this year. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a sign that our energy systems are being upgraded through temporary physical disruptions. Even those who had never contracted COVID-19 but suddenly did so recently, that, too, may carry a profound spiritual meaning. All of it is part of a process driving your transformation. So there is no need to be afraid. Moreover, while it's important to have a strategy for maintaining your health, there's been a recurring message that's been coming through strongly from the beginning: live in flow. Even in your work or daily life, you don't have to strictly follow rigid rules or what is commonly believed to be right. Allow yourself to break free from conventional structures so that you can truly listen to the rhythm within your own being. When you feel inspired, motivated, or driven to act, then act. When you feel the need to rest or step back, allow yourself to do so. Don't bind yourself to rigid plans. Growth and awakening are coming to you, not through what you control, but through your willingness to trust and surrender to the natural rhythm of life. Truly, everything that is happening carries a deeper meaning. All of it is part of your soul's greater plan. Therefore, surrendering to the flow of life is not only a path to healing, but also an act of honoring the journey your soul has chosen. The waterfall card appeared twice, emphasizing the importance of cleansing and release. Let yourself flow with the current, to allow your emotions to move freely, and to let the old naturally fall away. You are being called to pay attention to the purification of both your body and mind. Consciously drinking plenty of water each day will help you cleanse your energy more effectively. In addition, you might consider exploring healing modalities such as energy healing, releasing past blockages, or even past life regression therapy. All of these can support the process of inner release and energetic cleansing. Imagine yourself flushing everything out of your system, both physically and emotionally. Cleansing the body is also highly encouraged. You may choose to spend a few days eating more lightly, cutting back on oily or heavy foods, allowing your body the space it needs to heal itself. When the body feels lighter, the mind becomes clearer, and you'll be more attuned to the rhythm of the universe whispering from within you. When it comes to lucky foods, colors like gold and silver are especially favorable. Here are some suggestions. Bananas, not only golden in color, but also nutritious and easy to digest. Yellow bell peppers, vibrant and energizing. Sesame seeds, nourishing and soothing for the digestive system. Silver-hued fish, such as mackerel, herring, sardines, and jack mackerel. In particular, mackerel is rich in omega-3s, which support both heart health and cognitive function. These silvery scaled fish are not only highly nutritious, but also carry the energy of light, resonating with the phase of transformation and energetic recalibration your body is currently undergoing. Consider incorporating them into your meals in the coming days as a way to support both your physical health and your spiritual awakening. As for lucky items, objects featuring images of bears, frogs, or other cute animals will harmonize beautifully with your energy during this period. Additionally, anything sparkly or metallic, like crystal-embellished nails, mirror-effect nail art, or silver-tone jewelry, will help attract positive energy and amplify good fortune. In terms of healing, there's an intriguing practice being shared: breathe 4 times. It's a simple yet energetically powerful ritual. Here's how to do it. Take 4 deep breaths, then walk 4 long steps forward, and jump up 4 times. As you jump, visualize old layers of energy falling away from you. Every burden, blockage, or stagnant emotion is being released through those movements. It's a simple but potent ritual, well worth trying. In summary, this period is bringing you a beautiful flow. Not only in love, but in relationships of all kinds, everything is unfolding with ease and rich potential. That's why the most important thing right now is to allow yourself to merge naturally and gently with that flow. To do so, you'll need to let go of the old barriers in your mind, the limiting beliefs, outdated perceptions, or wounds that have yet to be healed. This is the time to free yourself from those burdens once and for all. One highly effective method of cleansing is the practice of Ho'oponopono, an energy purification technique based on 4 sacred phrases. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Repeat these words with full presence and heartfelt sincerity. They are not just spoken affirmations, they are a profound pathway to healing, release, and opening the door to the blessings that are on their way to you. Ho'oponopono, with its simple yet powerful phrases, offers a way to cleanse the deeper layers of the subconscious, releasing old energies and inviting in clarity and peace from within. As the cards have repeatedly emphasized the message of purification, it becomes even more evident that you are in a crucial phase, a phase of releasing all that no longer represents who you truly are. So you may begin to live in alignment with your authentic self, follow the calling of your soul, and act from your center, the place where your inner truth begins to speak. If you're daring to challenge yourself and face new changes, keeping your consciousness purified will help you move forward smoothly on this journey. Honor that inner clarity, and you'll find it easier to flow with the new rhythm of the universe, where beautiful things are waiting for you. This is where I'll conclude the reading for those who chose pile 1. If you enjoyed this message, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and support it by liking the video. Your encouragement is a powerful source of motivation that inspires me to continue bringing meaningful content. If something in this reading touched your heart, I invite you to leave a comment or even a small symbol to let me know the message has reached you. I always look forward to reading your thoughts, so don't hesitate to share what's on your mind. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. See you again in the upcoming readings. Hello to those who chose pile 2. Thank you for your patience. Now, let's begin your reading. I hope this message brings you healing, fresh insights, and moments filled with love. The theme for this reading is your journey during the first half of June. We'll take a look at the overall flow of energy, the events that may unfold, and your current situation. The first card that appeared is Justice. What I strongly sense here is a deep yearning within you, a longing for liberation. Have you recently felt like you've had to endure something, or been placed in a structure or role that feels stifling? Perhaps you're living in a situation where you're expected to keep everything in balance, maintain harmony, or pretend that everything is fine, even though, deep down, it no longer feels that way. In fact, I sense that you're beginning to want to break free from that very stability, even if it's the kind you once believed was good for you. You might be feeling the urge to shake up your daily routine, to change something that has long felt familiar, or to overturn a belief or principle that once felt safe. There's a stirring within, a quiet but persistent call for transformation. Not because something is wrong, but because your soul is craving new life, fresh air, and a different path. The second card is the Hanged Man. This card suggests you're currently in a state of suspension, perhaps held back by external circumstances or by inner limitations of your own making. What's fascinating is that you may have placed yourself in this position willingly, choosing to pause and remain in this space, as if waiting for a moment of clarity or awakening. But now, your soul is calling out for release. You no longer wish to be suspended in limbo, caught between 2 choices. You may be at a point where everything within you is calling for a major shift, not just a small adjustment, but a bold leap, a complete reversal, a movement that sets you free from invisible constraints. And June is the gateway for you to begin that journey. The Justice card appeared in reverse, which further highlights the sense that you've been caught in a situation where you've had to adhere to too many rules, disciplines, or self-imposed expectations. Perhaps up until now, you've maintained stability by holding onto those things, following your daily plans diligently, preserving harmony in relationships by always compromising or constantly trying to please others in order to keep the peace. But now it seems you've begun to feel enough is enough. You no longer want to keep going in the same way. Perhaps you're thinking, I've tried so hard, but I'm tired, or simply, I have the right to live true to myself. You may be slowly stepping away from a lifestyle, a role, or a commitment that you once forced yourself to fit into. This could also stem from being overly strict with yourself, setting standards too high and constantly pressuring yourself to be perfect, to be right, to be enough. And at some point, you realized that those very rules were suffocating and exhausting you. You're starting to see clearly the gap between what you show on the outside and what you truly feel inside, and you want to heal that divide. The feeling I get is that you genuinely want to be free. Whether it's something big or small, whether it's clear or still vague, a part of you is yearning to let go, to breathe freely, to live more lightly. Maybe that's why the cards jumped out so forcefully during the shuffle, as if the energy that's been held in for so long within you is finally ready to break through and be expressed. This is a phase where you're being called to listen more deeply to the voice within. If you feel it's time to release what no longer resonates with you, then allow yourself to do so, with gentleness, honesty, and love for yourself. In the flow of the first half of June, cards like the King of Swords and Five of Cups bring a very clear message. You are in the process of reclaiming your inner strength. This isn't just about mental clarity, it's also about restoring your energy and your sense of sovereignty. You're no longer the one chasing after recognition or clinging to something just to keep it alive. On the contrary, you are becoming the person toward whom everything naturally gravitates, a powerful magnet drawn from the truth of your being. The message is clear. You don't need to try to attract anything because you are the magnet, the center from which opportunities, connections, and resources are drawn. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, someone or something will naturally be pulled toward you, effortlessly, without strain or overexertion. There's also a special kind of expansion unfolding at this time. In the past, you may have believed that you were only capable of doing certain things or felt confined within a particular framework. But now, your energy is beginning to expand outward, not in a vertical breakthrough, but in a limitless horizontal spread across multiple directions. You may suddenly realize, oh, I can do this too, or find yourself unexpectedly invited into a collaboration, offered a new position, or presented with a suggestion that reveals a fresher, more dynamic version of yourself. This is a powerful period for developing your potential, whether it's expanding your network, forming new connections, or cultivating skills you never imagined exploring before. The image that emerges is you standing at the center of a wide, branching crossroads, no longer restricted to a single fixed path, but free to choose your direction. And whichever way you go, you'll find connection, affirmation of your worth, and real opportunities. This is your time to flourish outward, grounded, expansive, and irresistibly magnetic. Additionally, the Five of Cups suggests that you're arriving at a moment where you can finally let go of the things that once caused lingering sorrow, emotional attachment, or a sense of entrapment. It might have been a long-standing grief, an emotional dependency, or a situation in which you felt stuck. But now, you've stepped into a new phase, one in which those things no longer hold power over you. You are reclaiming your strength, and through that strength, you're beginning to attract what is truly aligned with your worth. When you're no longer bound by negative emotions, when you're no longer lost in uncertainty, you gain clarity and decisiveness. And from there, everything you need begins to gravitate toward you, almost as if it had been waiting all along for you to return to your true center. There's a strong sense that an important decision is taking shape. If you were once hesitant, unsure, or unclear about your next steps, now you'll find the certainty you need. You're ready to make the call and move forward with confidence. No more delays. You know what you need, and you're ready to act on behalf of yourself. All of the energy here carries a beautiful tone, tender, gentle, yet incredibly powerful. It is the energy of love, but not of attachment or dependency. It is the kind of love that is true and rooted in your relationship with yourself. The kind of love that makes you strong enough to protect yourself, to pause when needed, to rise when called, and to say no to what no longer serves you. It's a strength that doesn't come from control, but from kindness and trust in yourself. And that's what empowers you to make the important decisions, this time, for you, not for the sake of pleasing anyone else. This is the moment you return to yourself, embracing who you are with a mature and resilient love. From here, every door begins to open. However, there is one more thing that's coming through clearly. As you try to liberate yourself, a certain energy may emerge to hold you back or pull you in the opposite direction. It might be someone who offers advice that appears to be for your own good, but deep down, they don't truly want you to change. They want you to remain in your old comfort zone, to stay as the version of you that was familiar to them, the one who was always there, always fitting into their world. It feels as though you're gradually expanding, radiating into a new space, yet somewhere in the background, there's still a hand trying to hold you back. It could be someone familiar, a close friend, a loved one, or a relationship where you once served as a steady presence. And now, they're not ready to let you go. They might say things like, "Are you sure this is the right move?" Or "You should be careful," offering advice that seems well-meaning on the surface, but carries the subtle energy of attachment. It might also manifest in moments when you hesitate, doubt yourself, or suddenly feel a drop in your mood for no clear reason. That too could be a resonance of this energy. Like a subtle pull that makes you wonder, what if I'm making the wrong choice, even though deep down you know you're on the right path? That's why the core message now is, stay centered in yourself. Define your energetic boundaries with clarity. There's no need for resistance or dramatic separation. Just remain mindful of your choices. Don't let fleeting emotions or the voices of others sway you from the direction you've chosen. And when asking for a message on the central theme, the card invocation ceremony appeared. The imagery is truly heartwarming, like a gentle ritual calling you back to the deepest layers of your being. This message encourages you to create a sacred space for yourself, a space where you can listen to the voice of your soul, reaffirm your freedom, and consciously summon your inner strength. You might feel called to hold a small ceremony, lighting a candle, writing down a wish, or simply taking a few moments in stillness to breathe deeply and say to yourself, "I choose to live in alignment with my true self." This is a moment for you to step forward not with physical force, but with clarity, trust, and love for yourself. The magic ahead will arise from the energy you anchor in this present moment. What's truly essential right now is to bring your focus back to yourself, to nourish your inner axis rather than be swept away by the noise around you. To do that, try carving out small pockets of connection each day, even just a few minutes, to hear the quiet voice within. For example, after finishing a long day of work or right before going to bed, take a few quiet moments to return to yourself. Do whatever helps you feel grounded and gently reconnect with your inner being. Skincare rituals, a light meditation, sipping tea in silence, or simply placing your hand over your heart and asking, "How do I feel today?" Even just 5 minutes can become a small but sacred ritual, one that helps you regain balance. A beautiful image arises. You, dressed in your pajamas, preparing to drift into sleep, taking a few moments before closing the day to whisper something kind to yourself. That moment becomes a space for renewal, for grounding, and for reigniting your inner light. If you have crystals, a gemstone bracelet, or any item that holds energetic significance, you can use it as an anchor. Touch it, close your eyes, and simply feel, because every object carries vibration, every item holds presence. Even if you don't hear any whispers or see anything vivid, it doesn't mean the connection isn't there. In truth, you are always connected. It's just that you may not have fully realized it yet. Try holding an object, any object. It doesn't have to be a crystal. It could be a notebook, a scarf, or something familiar and dear to you, and allow yourself to believe that this item is listening to you, responding to you in its own unique way. You don't need to see it. You don't need to hear it. Just feel. That feeling alone is enough to guide you back to the deeper layers within yourself, where the real answers reside. And only from that place can you truly access your peace, your wisdom, and your inner strength. I believe that within your heart, deep inside, something will undoubtedly begin to stir. It may be a sense of non-thought, a state where you are simply present, here and now, allowing yourself to be empty. But it's not a hollow emptiness. It's a return to 0 point, much like in meditation, where you release all thought. The energy coming to you right now may be encouraging you to step into that space of quiet awareness and sacred stillness. That's why I encourage you to create a small ritual, a way to reconnect with yourself. What matters most right now is your connection with your inner world and your willingness to dive deep within. I sense that many of you have recently begun to awaken spiritually, or at the very least, you're opening your heart to the inner world. For those who are in that phase, I suggest starting with journaling, engaging in self-dialogue through writing. You could use it to record your emotions, list what you're grateful for, or write in a dream notebook, like I often do before going to sleep each night. Set aside a dedicated time just for this, a time that belongs fully to you. This is also the core theme of this period, or more precisely, the one thing you are encouraged to consciously practice during the first half of this month. I believe that if you truly commit to this practice and devote even a short time each day to connecting inward in this way, you will experience a noticeable transformation, possibly within just a couple of weeks. Begin today. Now, let's move into a more detailed part of the reading, focusing on your work, current projects, and the dreams or goals you're pursuing. The By the Book card has appeared in reverse, which is quite interesting. The cards today seem to keep flipping as if to turn all the usual rules on their heads. And then, the Share card showed up. A thought just flashed through my mind. If you're considering launching your own business, starting a company, or preparing to open a shop or develop some kind of entrepreneurial model, this is the time to pay close attention to the message. A Pentacles card has also appeared, very strong and grounding. It immediately brings to mind the possibility that you're thinking about renting a space, investing in equipment, or putting down capital to begin something related to business or a personal venture. And right here, the message from the Share card brings to mind concepts like co-working spaces or shared salons, collaborative models that are becoming increasingly common in today's world. In the past, following a more traditional mindset, people would often take out loans, make large upfront investments in equipment, rent physical locations, and shoulder a wide range of expenses to start a business. But this time, the energy of the cards is encouraging you to begin in a lighter, more flexible way. So, if you're nurturing a plan but feel like you don't yet have enough capital or you're anxious about borrowing money, consider shifting your perspective. Start with what you already have, make use of the resources available to you, and don't place too much pressure on having to invest heavily right from the beginning. If your content, product, or idea is truly valuable, everything will naturally grow from there. And in time, you'll be able to build a stronger, more stable foundation. So the message is clear. Just begin, gently, flexibly. There's no need to follow outdated models, and no need to pressure yourself to be perfect from the start. If this message reaches you at the right time in your journey, I hope you'll see it as a meaningful encouragement. No matter what kind of work you're doing, the guidance remains the same. Begin without feeling the need to invest a large sum of money. Just give it a try, using exactly what you already have in your hands. In terms of the overall flow, the cards suggest that you are on a path toward a level of prosperity that allows you to share with others. And that prosperity can take many forms. Perhaps you'll be recognized, selected for a special position, or offered a major opportunity, one that invites you into a role of leadership and influence. Or perhaps you'll become someone who shares your knowledge and experience with others, like a teacher, a guide, a mentor. The abundance shown here is not limited to money or material possessions. It also includes knowledge, relationships, reputation, and the ability to connect with others. More simply, it symbolizes a state of overflow where you have not only enough for yourself, but more than enough to say thank you, to give back, and to share with those who have supported you. You may soon reach a level of income that allows you to express gratitude to the people who have stood by your side in a way that's both sincere and generous. The cards are saying that this return, this moment of reciprocity, is already on its way to you. In addition, the cards emphasize that in this age of air, the era we are currently living in, it's essential to approach things from a completely new perspective. Specifically, you're being encouraged to slowly dismantle the old frameworks, the outdated beliefs of how things should be. For example, the idea that to begin something you must invest heavily, or that everything must be perfectly in place before you can take action. Those rules no longer apply. You are being guided to break free from those limitations, to release the binding beliefs that once held you back. Free yourself from rigid definitions like it must be done this way or that's the only path, and begin doing things in your own way, guided by your own sense, intuition, and unique individuality. It's also possible that you're entering a phase where certain collaborations or partnerships, especially those tied to work or shared projects, may naturally come to an end. But this parting doesn't carry the weight of loss or pain. On the contrary, it may happen gently and effortlessly, such as a partner stepping away for personal reasons or simply because the collaboration is no longer necessary. And as a result, you'll be able to redirect your full energy toward what truly stirs your heart. The 4 cards in this reading radiate a vibrant, colorful energy, signaling a striking transformation. Among them is a card that represents the reversal of conventional rules, yet it is accompanied by a sense of calm and safety. This suggests that even as you turn old patterns upside down and step beyond your comfort zone, there is nothing to fear. The Queen of Pentacles is here to tell you that you are still grounded in a field of strong, stable energy. This card continues to carry the message of abundance, while also emphasizing stability. That's why I feel that the reality around you is about to shift in clear and tangible ways. Things are beginning to move, to take shape, and to unfold with greater clarity and direction. In addition, you may soon meet collaborators, individuals who deeply connect with you on a soul level. In your work or current projects, someone may appear who brings a powerful sense of resonance. This person won't just support you, but will also inspire you and help amplify your energy. And through this collaboration, tangible outcomes, including financial growth, are likely to follow. A guidance card has also appeared, self-employment. Once again, this serves as a confirmation. This is the time for you to begin something on your own terms, in your own way. As mentioned earlier, even if thoughts of needing investment to get started are lingering, the truth is, you are deeply aligned with the path of self-employment. If you've been working within an organization or part of a larger system, now is the time to consider initiating something on your own. And if you're in the opposite situation, having worked independently but recently wondering whether you should return to working for a company, the message from the cards is, pause for a moment. Don't rush. It's very possible that your current path is still one of freedom, where you create on your own terms, lead with your own direction, and follow the method that resonates most with your spirit. I sense clearly that you are someone with refined sensitivity and a strong sense of individuality. You carry a uniqueness within you, something that cannot be replicated. Yet, perhaps somewhere deep inside, there has been a lack of confidence, or you may have seen your uniqueness as a weakness. In truth, that is your greatest strength, the very thing that only you possess. The card is encouraging you to turn inward, to listen and fully recognize that truth. Starting something of your own undoubtedly requires courage, but you can begin by simply asking yourself, what sets me apart from others? What is my true strength? You can reflect on this alone or ask those close to you for their perspective to help you see yourself more clearly. Because right now, magical opportunities are truly arriving in your life. This is a time when, if you begin something on your own, you have the potential to create real value, even income, based on your unique worldview and passions. Even if you're still a student, you can absolutely begin now. The world today offers countless new paths. Thanks to social media, you only need to share what you genuinely love, presenting with sincerity the things that excite you, and you can already start building a small business model of your own. And if you feel that traditional part-time jobs aren't for you, or if you find it difficult to adapt to environments with heavy social interaction, then starting something independently, something that doesn't require much capital, could be the perfect path. You don't need to wait for ideal conditions. Just begin with your own uniqueness, and you'll discover that this is the road designed specifically for you. The truth is, if you start right now, there are so many things you can do for free simply by leveraging social media. So just try, truly, just begin. I suddenly felt a rush of warmth in my hands, as if you possess healing energy in your hands, a kind of natural healing power. It's incredibly strong. At this moment, your healing energy is being released intensely. Why might that be? Perhaps it's because in your past lives, even before arriving on Earth, and throughout your many earthly experiences, you've carried a certain resistance to doing something just for yourself. Perhaps at some point, you weren't able to fully trust yourself. You may have held back your own potential in subtle ways. The reason could be that you've been through incredibly difficult experiences in the past. Perhaps you had to carry everything on your own, pushing forward tirelessly with no one by your side. Or maybe you once tried to do something using only your own abilities, but the outcome fell short of what you hoped for. And over time, you began to lose faith in yourself. I can deeply sense the emotion. You once bravely reached for something great, poured your heart into it, but it didn't succeed, and it left you feeling heartbroken and full of regret. It's as if something within you collapsed. A sorrow that runs deep, perhaps because you lost something truly precious. And that is why what you are about to create in the future won't only matter to you, it will also hold significance for the Earth and for humanity. But first and foremost, it holds profound meaning for you, for your healing, for reclaiming your truth, and for the path that awaits you from this moment onward. And in order to do that, perhaps your soul is in need of a little healing. Right now, the energy being released is incredibly powerful, and through my voice, that healing energy is being transmitted to you. You might even feel sleepy after hearing this. If so, allow yourself to rest. A cleansing process is underway, so be sure to drink plenty of water to support your body. I can feel that you're entering a phase where healing on a soul level is being strongly activated. That's why this is also the perfect moment for you to begin recognizing what it is you truly want to do, or to gain a clearer sense of your innate gifts and talents. Even if you don't yet have full clarity, it's very possible that someone may soon ask for your help with something, a small request that becomes an opportunity, a doorway opening before you. I sense this as soon as the Peace of Mind card appeared. It felt like a sign that your soul may be carrying energetic blocks, keeping your heart guarded and your full potential from being fully expressed. That's why, through today's healing process, I truly believe that as June unfolds, you'll find yourself reconnecting with your inner being in a state of calm and peace, and from there, your inner gifts will begin to awaken. You'll begin using those gifts to create something meaningful. Or perhaps, you'll start to feel more confident in what you're already doing and feel inspired to share it more broadly with the world. I can feel this so clearly. It's beautiful. Let's move forward together. Now, let's move into the love section. In this part, I'll divide the reading into two groups. First, those of you who already have someone in your heart, and second, those who are hoping for a new connection. Let's begin with those of you who are currently involved with someone. The gift card has just appeared. Following that is the 7th chakra card. One thing that comes through very clearly is this: something is being kept hidden. But this isn't something negative or deceptive. It feels more like a surprise, something that's quietly being prepared for you. A gift, a heartfelt gesture, something unexpected may be coming your way around the beginning of June. And then, the next card is the Knight, carrying the energy of a message, a piece of news, or a specific action. It hints at something important. Your person, the one you're thinking of, is yearning to say something to you, something that truly matters, something they've been longing to express. Next comes the Crown Chakra card, which made me pause and ask, why the Crown Chakra? And then the Transformation card appeared, symbolizing deep change. Following that was Awakening. What I'm sensing is that this energy is no longer just about a typical love story. It's moving beyond the framework of an ordinary relationship, because the messages coming through lately have been increasingly aligned with higher-level connections, with guidance from the universe. And that's exactly what I feel called to bring into these readings: the deeper layers of connection, not just surface-level emotions. I feel it very clearly. The surprise your person is preparing is not merely a sweet gesture. It's a connection that runs deep, a soul-level bond. Something meaningful is taking shape, not just between two people, but between two souls aligning on a higher plane. I feel very clearly that your person is finally awakening. A powerful awakening is taking place, perhaps an awakening to the depth of their feelings for you, or perhaps they are finally ready to speak the words they've long held back. I sense something profound here. There are things they need to say in order for the relationship between you to heal, and to evolve in a more beautiful and aligned direction. And that means they are ready. At the same time, you are ready to receive what's coming. It's possible that recently you've felt some distance between you, a sense of emotional separation. Perhaps things haven't felt as close or as easy as they once were. There may have been tension, silence, or even time apart without communication. But even that space, that period of distance, held meaning. It was a necessary pause, a sacred silence, allowing both of you to reflect, to turn inward. It was a time for each of you to realize what truly matters. And it's through that inner journey that your connection can now move into a new chapter, one that is deeper, more mature, and filled with greater understanding. As the result of that period of reflection, I feel very strongly that this person is going to come to you and express something deeply important. This isn't just a shift in thought, it's an awakening. A true awakening where they begin to recognize who they really are. Awakening here doesn't just mean becoming spiritual or unlocking some supernatural ability, although that too is possible. What matters more is that they come to a clear realization of how they truly feel about you. And when they reach that understanding and communicate it to you, you too will begin to experience a transformation from within. In fact, if physical intimacy occurs between you, it could even become a powerful turning point, one where both of you awaken together. You'll begin to see yourself more clearly, to recognize your own truth. I sense that this is indeed a moment of awakening, and it's drawing very near. The love between you and this person may not be a simple romantic connection. It could be that the two of you have chosen each other in this lifetime as awakeners, as soul partners meant to help one another become more conscious and live more authentically. Of course, everyone will have a different understanding of what awakening means. For you, it might be the moment you begin to clearly see what you truly want to do, or when you fully realize the feelings you genuinely hold for this person. From there, the relationship between the two of you may begin to transform into something deeper, more genuine, and more aligned with your true selves. From a practical perspective, this could be described as a turning point, where both of you start to understand your own hearts more clearly and simultaneously shift the way you connect with each other. Now, I will draw an additional piece of guidance for you. The card Divine Feminine appears, accompanied by the symbol of nature. Immediately, what I sense is a message about receptivity. While the image of the knight often symbolizes someone bringing gifts, someone taking action to give, here, you are being guided to remain in a state of stillness, open and ready to receive. This is something truly valuable and worth waiting for. Therefore, during this early part of June, you don't need to be overly proactive or push yourself to act first. Instead, maintain a soft, receptive energy, because it is your willingness to receive that creates the space for the other person to come forward and offer. When you remain in stillness, the gift will naturally find its way to you. And one more important thing, focus on self-care, on beautifying yourself, and nurturing joy from within. Invest your time and even your money in things that make you feel radiant and uplifted, because doing so allows you to sustain a vibration of happiness, and that is the energy that will draw beautiful things into your life. A beautiful current is flowing toward you. For those of you who don't yet have a significant other but are longing for a romantic connection, the energy here carries a deeply romantic tone. An unexpected image just surfaced in my intuition, meeting in a dream. You might dream of this person, the one you're about to meet, even before the actual encounter happens. Or, if there's already someone you hold in your heart, it's possible they will appear in your dreams to send you a sign, a message. Then, the card True Romance appears, a sign that a true love is on its way. It really is coming. And this arrives alongside the energy of healing, a profound and gentle healing. Perhaps symbolized by a white cloth or something soft and pure. I sense this may be healing for your inner child, something within you that has been activated, preparing you to enter a healthier, more wholehearted relationship. I sense that this message applies not only to romantic love, but to all human relationships. Have you ever felt afraid to truly trust someone? As if there's always a thought lingering in the back of your mind. Eventually, they'll betray me, or people only care about themselves in the end. This may stem from wounds you've experienced in past relationships, or perhaps even from past life imprints tied to the theme of love. I feel a deep sorrow hidden within you, a sadness rooted in the absence of love. And because you've once felt deprived of love, when you do love, it might have brought up emotions like anger, hurt, and grief, the shadow sides of love. I can clearly sense a message from your inner child, whispering softly, "I just want to be loved." And because the very thing you've longed for most hasn't yet arrived, the sorrow and anger have only grown stronger. That's why I feel so strongly that healing your inner child is essential at this moment. No matter the extent or depth, no matter how big or small, each of us carries wounds from childhood. There is no one who doesn't. Because parents are human too, and no one is perfect. In the process of raising you, they may have unintentionally hurt you, or perhaps you misunderstood something as a child and held onto it as a wound. That is why I believe healing the inner child is something everyone needs. And now, as the door to a new love begins to open before you, I believe this is also the right moment to return to your inner child, to hold them, soothe them, and gently say, "I have come home." Because only when you are ready to love yourself fully, will the love you truly deserve come to you just as fully. You may be about to meet this person, or perhaps you've already started to sense their presence in your life. A beautiful experience, one that feels as if it has stepped out of a dream, awaits you ahead, something deeply romantic. Moreover, this card also carries the meaning of a past life connection, suggesting that this may be a destined reunion, and the door to that meeting is beginning to open. Because of this, you might start to feel more positive and optimistic when it comes to love. When it comes to healing your inner child, there are many different ways to approach it. And today, I want to share with you a very simple practice that anyone can do. Choose a moment when you feel truly relaxed. Gently close your eyes and sit in a comfortable position. Then, visualize a version of yourself, perhaps at the age of 3 or 5, sitting on your lap. Look closely at that child's face. Notice their expression. Then softly call their name, your name, with all the love and tenderness in your heart. Sometimes, just doing this is enough to bring tears to your eyes. Just calling your own name in a gentle voice, that alone is already healing. And then, you can begin to talk with that child. If their face looks sad, gently ask, "Why are you crying?" If they're smiling brightly, ask, "What's making you so happy?" Speak with that child as you would with a dear friend, as another version of yourself. When you do this in a gentle meditative state, you'll feel a profound connection with your inner child, and that alone is already a miraculous form of healing. Healing the inner child doesn't mean forcing yourself to break through emotional blockages or digging up painful wounds against your will. It's not about pressure or effort. In truth, it's about reconnecting with those parts of yourself that have long been suppressed, held in silence, just so you could keep going, keep being strong every day. Perhaps you've turned away from the voice of your inner child many times, fearing that if you listened, you might not be able to carry on. But the moment you're willing to pause, just for a little while, and truly listen, that child begins to heal. So, if you can turn the act of speaking with your inner child into a small daily ritual, that would be truly wonderful. For example, you might write down all of your emotions in a journal. This practice is called inner journaling, and it's actually a very effective way to heal the inner child. I really think you should try it, because it will no doubt bring positive change. And as your inner child begins to heal, little by little, you'll start attracting beautiful connections, like the possibility of meeting someone special in the first half of June. That is the message the cards have delivered. Isn't it magical? Even as I share these words, I feel a sense of healing too. Now, let's take a look at a small message, something important for you to keep in mind in the coming days. The World card has appeared here with a very practical reminder. Be mindful when traveling at night, especially on quiet or deserted roads. While there's no energy suggesting anything frightening or dangerous, it's still wise to stay aware for your own safety. That's all it is, a gentle nudge from the universe, reminding you to take care. After all, being cautious is never a bad thing. A little extra attentiveness costs nothing, yet it helps you protect your well-being. And there's something more, a deeper connection between Earth and the unseen world, between the tangible reality and what cannot be seen with the naked eye. This means that your subconscious is actively shaping the reality you're living in. In other words, the external world is a reflection of your inner world. Earlier, we spoke about the inner child, and now it's important not to let yourself be swept up by the chaos of the outside world. If you're feeling irritated, unsettled, or struggling to forgive something happening around you, or if that happens in the near future, it's very likely that the root lies within. It could be that a part of your inner world, or your inner child, is carrying a hidden wound, enduring some form of pain, or that you're unknowingly placing pressure on yourself. When you push yourself to the limit, the outer world begins to mirror that pressure, through tense situations, mounting stress, and the feeling of being weighed down. That's why releasing yourself from that internal pressure is absolutely essential. Listen to yourself, to the voice within, and allow yourself to relax, to soften. Gently turn inward with a gaze of compassion, because when you fill your own heart with love, your outer world will gradually become filled with that same loving energy. And I believe that if everyone could live with such inner peace, feeling a sense of wholeness, and gratitude simply for being alive each day, then that would be the true foundation of world peace. Because the universe itself is designed in this way. When each individual finds peace within, the natural world around us will begin to reflect that peace as well. So when something in the outside world makes you feel uneasy or unsettled, please don't think that you're being punished or that God is testing you. It's not like that. In truth, there may be something within you that you haven't fully faced yet. And what's happening externally is simply a reflection of that inner state, a gentle way for life to guide you back to yourself, to softly invite you to touch those parts within that are still waiting to be healed. When you begin to recognize and approach those parts with tenderness, your outer world will begin to shift in response. That's why it's so important not to let yourself get swept up by external chaos. Stay grounded in awareness. Now, let's take a look at your lucky colors. I'll begin with the color that supports your overall well-being, blue, a color of healing, one that activates deep restorative energy. Once again, the message of healing is being highlighted. Next, the color that enhances your charm and romantic luck, shimmering gold, a color that attracts abundance and prosperity in love. In terms of your career, the color that supports you is coral, a shade that brings movement, invites magical synchronicities, and encourages a smooth, flowing current in your professional life. Now, let's take a look at your health. The card that appears is Peace of Swords, but it has shown up in the reversed position. This suggests that you may be entering a phase of overwhelm, possibly because you've placed too much pressure on yourself. For example, you might find yourself flooded with invitations or opportunities, with a schedule packed so tightly that there's barely any room to rest. Or unexpected tasks may appear, and you accept them all out of fear of missing out, leaving you without time to recharge. It seems like your June will be quite dynamic. The current energy is high, so you absolutely have the momentum to move forward and try new things. Even so, the key here is balance. So, what can help you maintain that balance? What will support your healing amidst all the busyness? Let's continue listening for more guidance. This time, the message is, go find the fairies. I wonder how you feel when you hear that. For me, it brings to mind an image of a lush park or a green forest, where fairies hide among the trees and flowers. Perhaps this is a gentle nudge for you to seek out places filled with greenery, to immerse yourself in nature, to breathe deeply, to meditate, and to reconnect with the energy of Mother Earth. It could be something as simple as taking a walk, letting your fingers brush against leaves and petals, or practicing earthing, grounding yourself as a way to renew your energy. It's as if you're setting out on a journey to find the fairies, with an innocent and pure-hearted spirit. That said, I also sense that many of you may be very busy, and it's not always easy to find time to be in nature. In that case, let's draw on the strength of the unseen world. We can perform a small ritual before going to sleep. Before going to sleep, gently close your eyes and whisper in your heart. Dear fairies, please send the loving energy of the universe to the parts of my body that need healing while I sleep. That is enough. The fairies will quietly arrive and assist you in your dreams. If you wish to receive an even more powerful healing session, you can call upon your extraterrestrial friends, beings from higher dimensions. Silently say to yourself, "Tonight, please take me to a space that is most suitable for healing." And they will know exactly what to do for you. It may sound strange, but these are things I have truly experienced myself. In any case, the most important thing is not to overexert yourself. Take time for yourself. Nurture your body and soul with love and gentleness. But also, don't forget, this is a time when you can move forward, make an effort, and achieve so much because the current energy is incredibly strong. So use that energy to take action, to live fully, while always keeping a quiet space within you for rest and reflection. Next comes the message about your lucky foods and items. For lucky foods, items like champagne, ginger, and various kinds of shellfish, such as clams and oysters, will bring you positive energy. Also, the color blue today reminds me strongly of water. The energy of water seems to be an important theme at this time. If you have the chance, you might want to learn about natural springs or special water sources and try ordering water from those regions to experience it for yourself. If not, imported mineral waters like Crystal Geyser are also a great option. I personally feel they carry a high vibrational energy. And if you have the opportunity, visiting places with pure water sources in person would allow you to truly absorb and connect with nature's healing power. Water, both physically and spiritually, seems to be a central element in this phase. As for lucky items, gold is an excellent choice. I'm wearing gold-colored jewelry today and can feel very uplifting energy from it. There's also a specific image that came to mind: radiant geometric shapes like sunbeams spreading outward from a central point, or jagged, metallic patterns resembling rays or solar motifs. If you come across objects with these designs on accessories, clothing patterns, or decorative items, pay attention to them. They may serve as energetic support for you. Sunbathing, allowing yourself to soak in sunlight, is also a highly effective way to enhance your personal energy. The energy of the sun is currently a powerful force supporting you. I can feel very clearly that this entire message revolves around the keyword, love, a vast, radiant, and abundant love, as luminous as the sun itself. Wide rose fairy love, indeed, she has appeared. I saw her presence very vividly just now. She is here, as a confirmation that you will be filled with love. If you already have a special person by your side, it is their love that will dissolve your weariness, lighten your spirit, and bring you back to life. And if you are still on the journey of searching for a meaningful connection, then simply envision that person, the ideal partner you wish to meet, and connect with their image in your mind. In doing so, your soul and theirs have already begun to resonate and intertwine. The invisible world is truly miraculous beyond explanation, for it is entirely possible to connect soul to soul with someone you have never met before, especially with those we call soulmates, twin souls who share your mission and have been reborn into this life alongside you. Even if you haven't met in the physical world, your soul can still reach them, and you can receive love through that invisible connection. Let the fairies walk beside you, lighting the path and filling the first half of June with warmth, radiance, and love. I'll end the reading for those of you who chose pile 2 here. If you enjoyed this message, don't forget to click like and subscribe to support the channel. Your encouragement is a tremendous source of motivation that inspires me to continue bringing deeper, more meaningful readings. If something in today's message touched your heart, please leave a comment, or even just a small emoji, so I know it truly reached you. I deeply appreciate every message you share and always look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. See you again in the next reading. Hello to those of you who chose pile 3. Thank you for waiting. Now, let's begin your reading. I hope this message brings you healing, new awareness, and moments filled with love. Our theme today is your energetic flow and fortune in the first half of June. Let's take a look at the overall current and what's unfolding in your present moment. Something incredibly powerful shows up right away. You are stepping into a period of great transformation, a shift from darkness to light, a reversal of opposites, a flip of yin and yang. A major turning point is approaching, not only in your outer world, but deep within your inner self. It feels like many things within you, things that were once suppressed or hidden, are now starting to rise to the surface. For example, you may begin to speak your truth. Words you once held back are now ready to be voiced. You are in the midst of a profound inner shift, a major transformation that is guiding you toward inner union, where you reconnect with your true essence. Because of this, during this period, you may find yourself facing situations that force you to confront the very things you've been avoiding. You might be called to let go of a certain lifestyle, belief, or role you've adopted just to fit in with others. Some of you may even experience feelings of betrayal or emotional pain caused by someone close. A card carrying the message of betrayal has appeared, but what I sense is that the true source doesn't lie in the other person's actions, but rather in the hidden shadow energy within you that is now rising to the surface. You may come face to face with aspects of yourself you've long ignored. You might uncover a truth about someone, something you've been pretending not to see, but which can no longer be dismissed. It could also be a broader truth about the world around you. Secrets that were once buried are now beginning to be revealed. In short, you are moving through a powerful wave of energy, where truths, hidden emotions, and the unseen layers of life are slowly coming to light. But none of this is happening to hurt you. It's all arriving to awaken you, to help you live more authentically, to guide you toward recognizing who you truly are, and to empower you to step out of your own shadow with strength and clarity. You may be starting to feel that the things you once forced yourself to tolerate, the situations you endured, and the roles you upheld no longer feel sustainable. And that's completely okay. It's a clear sign that you're entering a deeply transformative phase, where recognizing your own inner shadow becomes essential. Shadow, in this context, doesn't mean something negative. It refers to the parts of yourself you once labeled as weak, undesirable, or unworthy. It could be things like, I get jealous, I'm not strong enough, or I'm not good enough. These are traits you may have judged harshly or believed you needed to eliminate. But instead of trying to change or reject those parts of yourself, what you truly need to do is simply acknowledge and accept their presence. All you need to do is look at those aspects of yourself and say, so this part also exists within me, without needing to forgive, without needing to fix anything, and that, in itself, is an act of self-love. When you try to forgive, but aren't quite able to, it can actually cause more pain. So rather than forcing yourself to forgive or to turn everything into something positive, all you need to do is gently recognize and accept, I once judged myself, and now I see that. That alone is enough. That is the first step toward inner union, and it is also the beginning of true self-love. You may be starting to uncover new facets of your being, or coming to understand a fear that you've long avoided. All of this is part of the necessary journey back to your true essence. And the message from the cards this time is crystal clear. Everything that's happening right now is serving the purpose of your inner integration. Alongside that, I sense that you are someone with deep sensitivity, a soul who carries the frequency of the cosmos, a being from the stars. And yet, it seems that recently, you've been trying to suppress or deny that deep well of inspiration, as if you've closed off the gateway to your intuition, to the higher energy that has always been within you. You are yearning for an awakening, for a moment of deep realization within yourself. And yet, at the same time, your rational mind is working against that desire, holding it back. This is a very clear message that has come through in the reading for the first half of June. If right now you find yourself constantly denying your own truth, or if you feel fear when facing the awakening process, then it's likely that June will bring a series of inner conflicts and emotional struggles. You may feel confused, uncertain about who you are, or find it difficult to make decisions. Even when opportunities present themselves and doors begin to open, you might hesitate, unsure whether to step forward. Your intuition may be speaking to you loudly and clearly, but you still don't allow yourself to trust it. And in the end, you find yourself trapped in endless loops of overthinking, worry, and analysis. Of course, not everyone is meant to take immediate action in the first half of June. If you feel the need for more reflection, then pausing to observe is also a perfectly valid choice. You can absolutely take action later, perhaps in the second half of the month. And that doesn't mean your intuition will fade away. It's just that, when too much mental pressure is placed upon it, you may temporarily lose your connection to that deep inner source of inspiration. We are living on Earth, and here, intuition alone is not enough. The integration of emotion and reason, of intuitive knowing and deliberate action, is essential. That's why it's important for you to find balance between these two forces within yourself. You may naturally lean toward intuition and emotion, someone who lives from the right side of the brain, guided by feelings and impressions. But now, the cards are suggesting it's time to step into the left side, logic, structure, and analysis to bring things into more tangible order. In other words, this is a moment of inner reversal. If you've always lived by instinct, now is the time to try being a little more grounded. Let your thoughts and plans support you so that your intuition can be expressed in the world more effectively and concretely. However, if you feel even a slight sense of fear when it comes to concepts like connecting with the universe, extraterrestrial beings, or spiritual realms, you may find yourself unconsciously wanting to close that door during the first half of June. While the fact that you're watching this reading shows that you've already opened up quite a lot, there may still be a hidden fear deep within, fear of opening up, fear of awakening, fear of seeing things that are unfamiliar or beyond your usual perception. When that happens, you might tend to retreat into purely human energy, trying to rationalize everything, to handle life on your own, relying solely on effort and logic without allowing your spiritual side to guide you. Still, all of this is part of your journey, and I'd like to go a bit deeper to explore what's truly unfolding. The next card is Simplify Your Life, and accompanying it is love and compassion. What I sense very clearly is this: you have a deeply open heart, a vessel brimming with love. You may be someone who always lives for others, for friends, for your community, for your loved ones. You have a natural ability to offer compassion, to uplift others, and to radiate warmth effortlessly. And yet, at this point in your journey, there is a shift taking place. It is no longer just about loving others, but about returning to and awakening within yourself. Awakening is not about seeking something outside of you. It is the process of recognizing your true essence. It is about living in alignment with your authentic self, not the version that society expects you to be, nor the one you've struggled to become in order to fit in. Because you are now entering this process, you may sometimes feel pulled back by old ways of living, by former values, things that were not wrong, but which no longer align with the new direction your soul is taking. That's why you may be feeling caught in the tension between the old and the new. Remember this: you do not need to reject your former self, nor abandon the values that once supported you. But you do need to recognize that now is the time to live truthfully as you are, to simplify your life, to bring back the love and compassion you've so generously offered others back to yourself. That love and compassion, at last, are something you deserve to receive fully from your own heart. Perhaps somewhere along the way, you have unconsciously lived according to others' standards. And now it is time to return to your own center, to come back to yourself. You may be influenced by the people around you, swept up in the collective current, and in the process, have forgotten what it is that you truly want. Even though deep inside, you already feel clearly what your heart desires, and even though the opportunity is drawing near, you find yourself needing more time to reflect, especially because of your companions or loved ones. Because they matter too. And that's completely valid. So, this may be a time when you find yourself hesitating, a phase filled with questions and uncertainty. But try looking at it from a different perspective. You are hesitating because there are so many precious things in your heart, things you don't want to hurt or leave behind. The fact that you are standing in the midst of such meaningful bonds is the very reason you're taking your time. And that, in itself, is something truly beautiful. Allow yourself the time you need to reflect. There is no need to rush. And there's one more thing I want to share. Perhaps until now, you've often held yourself back from living authentically, from expressing your true self and the unique essence that belongs only to you, because you feared being judged, feared the gaze of others. But you know what? You are the embodiment of love. Every time you express something from your heart, you are radiating that love out into the world. And your individuality, your uniqueness, that is how love chooses to reveal itself through you. So, if you've ever hidden yourself for fear of what others might think, know that from this moment forward, you are stepping into a new journey, a journey of daring to live as your true self. You are beginning to allow yourself to step into the light and bring the love within you into the world. This part of the reading speaks to discernment, but it also shows that you're doing your best to become the version of yourself that truly aligns with your heart. To become that version, you've started turning inward, facing yourself, discovering the magnificent qualities that have long been waiting within, and now you are beginning to act from that place. In the past, it may have remained just a vague hope, a distant dream, if only I could do that. But now you're truly taking action, step by step, bringing your inner vision to life. Perhaps many of you are currently in this state. This is a moment where each person may interpret things in their own way, but what I feel is this: because you carry such a vast and loving heart, you've always had a sense that you were sent here with a mission from the universe. You may have often thought, I must do this, or I need to fulfill that, and yet there's a lingering feeling that you haven't quite done enough, that something is still missing. And that quiet sense of unrest may have been with you for a long time. It feels as though you chose to reincarnate on Earth this time for a very specific reason, to support the planet's final ascension process. You carry a deep love from elsewhere, and you came back with the intention of completing something meaningful. That's why you've always thought of others first, always prioritized their needs and emotions over your own. Your sensitivity to others' moods, your concern for how they perceive you, these are signs of a profoundly kind and empathetic heart. People like you are, quite simply, incredibly compassionate souls. So the guidance for you is this: simplify your life. Begin releasing the things that are creating pressure in your world, whether it's people, situations, physical objects in your home, or relationships that no longer resonate. Be brave enough to let go of what feels like it's time to leave, so that the energy in your life can begin flowing more gently and freely once again. And so, the message being sent to you is this: you absolutely can flow with life, if you allow yourself to do so. In your case, it seems that what needs to be released lies in the relationships around you, or perhaps the work environment you've been attached to for quite some time. Saying it must be released may sound too harsh, but the feeling is clear: you're being called to make your life lighter, less tangled, less burdened. And as you begin to let go, little by little, you will feel a true sense of relief and freedom. But of course, that's not always easy. Because the things you're contemplating now involve people who've walked alongside you for a long time, perhaps colleagues, family members, or close friends. And you are someone who carries deep compassion within. Alongside love, there is empathy, a sense of needing to be present for others, and sometimes, that causes you to set aside your own needs. There's a part of you that feels as though you've been betraying yourself by forcing yourself into molds for the sake of others for far too long. And now, you may be yearning to break free, to live for yourself, to finally do something that is truly yours. Yet, even so, walking away isn't so simple. Something is still holding you back, perhaps attachment, love, or even a sense of responsibility. So, if you're in a place where you feel the urge to let something go but still find yourself hesitating, that's perfectly okay. You are allowed to give yourself more time to think it through, to slow down and listen more closely to your heart. Because this is an important decision, one that has everything to do with whether or not you're living in alignment with your true self. And that's something worth taking a little extra time for, to be absolutely sure. That said, to help yourself feel lighter, you can begin by clearing your energy, starting with the things that are easiest to shift in your daily life. When you begin with small actions, like tidying up your living space or releasing what is no longer necessary, your energetic frequency naturally begins to shift. And once that shift happens, it becomes much easier to release even the things you once thought you could never let go of. So you can begin with very simple things like clearing out old belongings you no longer use, organizing your data, sorting through old photos on your phone or computer. Even these small actions can help make space within you feel brighter and more open. Now, let's take a look at the current flow surrounding your work, your pursuits, or your dreams in life. And how beautiful, the Phoenix card has appeared. This powerful symbol reveals that you are in the midst of a rebirth, a time when your soul longs for transformation, for living more in alignment with your true essence. Yet, at the same time, there's still a part of you that feels unready for change. It's as if two versions of you now coexist, one that is eager to rise and break free, and another that still fears what transformation might bring. In the realm of career or your personal pursuits, it seems you've gradually come to recognize what you truly want to do, what genuinely calls to you. However, you carry within you a strong sense of order, a belief that you shouldn't disrupt what's already in place. You may fear that if you pursue change, you could hurt someone or dismantle something that has been carefully built over time. The cards Hope and Optimistic have also appeared, revealing that you continue to carry faith within you, that even through difficult times, you have managed to hold onto a sense of positivity. What I feel very clearly is this: you are someone who has given your whole heart to your work, to people, to love. A loyal soul, deeply responsible, someone who, once committed, gives everything they have. You are like a person who once made a silent vow with your own heart, and because of that, it's not easy for you to change your perspective or direction. You may have found it difficult in the past to voice your true desires or to alter your path. But none of that stems from weakness. It comes from depth, from kindness, from a heart full of compassion. Perhaps at this moment, many of you are carrying within a quiet longing to end something, perhaps a bond, a commitment, a role, or a job you've been holding for a long time. You're yearning to release it, to free yourself from something that no longer feels aligned. And yet, the energy of the first half of June seems to be gently saying, not just yet, this is a time for observation, not immediate action. It seems that you're being gently encouraged to maintain your current pace for a little while longer, to continue living according to the familiar rhythm, the structure you've been following, so you can take a closer look at every aspect of your situation. Because in the current context, social expectations, role-based responsibilities, and your sensitivity to how others perceive you still hold significant influence. This makes you more inclined to be cautious, to preserve what is, and to refrain from making immediate changes. And truly, there's nothing wrong with that. If you still feel a sense of inner conflict, if your emotions haven't yet caught up with your thoughts, then rushing into a decision or forcing yourself to move forward right now might not lead to the best outcome. There's no need to push. There's no need to demand immediate answers from yourself. I apologize if this message doesn't fully align with your current experience, but if you are feeling unsure, then perhaps this is the moment to give yourself permission to keep reflecting, to keep listening more deeply to your own inner voice. Because the energy of the Hope and Optimistic cards is reminding you, don't be too hard on yourself. Keep your mind light. Don't overthink to the point of exhaustion. You don't need to have all the answers right now. Just hold on to the faith that everything will become clear in its own perfect time. You don't need to overthink everything, but it would serve you well to allow yourself to slow down a little. Try to hold a simple thought like, this is enough for now, or maybe I'll just try to appreciate what's right in front of me. Sometimes, all it takes is a small shift in perspective, choosing a gentler, more optimistic approach. For example, given the current circumstances, I'll just do my best, or I'll do what I can with kindness and acceptance. If you can shift your mindset in that direction during the first half of June, your emotional state will begin to stabilize. In that steadiness, you'll feel more clearly connected to yourself, and by the second half of June, or as you move into July, a new flow will arrive, helping you make an important decision for your life. The message is coming through strongly. There is no need to rush. You don't have to force yourself to awaken instantly or to achieve something by a specific deadline, like July 5th, for example. Some of you may be carrying a vague worry, a pressure that you must realize something important before a certain date. But take heart. There is absolutely no need to stress. Everything is okay. You still have time. All you need to do is slow down, and things will become clear when the time is right. So move forward with calm and clarity. There's no need to hurry. Ask yourself gently, what do I truly want? What matters most to me? What is the happiness I truly seek, the success I genuinely long for? And reflect on these questions in a light, unforced way. Don't pressure yourself to dig too deep or find the perfect answer all at once. Let your heart lead you naturally and gracefully. That, in itself, will guide you in the right direction. When you allow yourself to slow down and relax, clarity naturally begins to emerge. So, if you're still in a space of uncertainty, not yet ready to make a decision, that is completely okay. If someone is placing pressure on you, urging you to choose or decide something, then in the first half of June, it's perfectly valid for you to say, please give me more time to think. Prioritizing your own space and time is essential right now. Now, let's move into the topic of love. I'll divide this into two parts, one for those who are currently in a relationship and one for those who are seeking new love. First, for those who are already involved with someone, a very positive card has appeared. This relationship is worth trusting. This is a clear affirmation that the connection between you and your partner is grounded, meaningful, and moving toward long-term stability. Next, when additional cards were drawn, one message stood out: your gifts are blossoming. This card carries the energy of expansion, not only in terms of your talents, but also your inner radiance and magnetic presence. You are entering a phase where your energy is glowing with strength and beauty. In the first half of June, you will find yourself in an incredibly radiant, magnetic, and vibrant state. Not only are your talents blossoming, but so are your charm, allure, and natural grace. The blooming flowers shown on the cards symbolize your full awakening, both inwardly and outwardly. Because you are shining so brightly, your partner, the one in your relationship, won't be able to look away. They'll be deeply drawn to you, captivated to the point of not being able to take their eyes off you. They may even feel a bit nervous because of how amazing you are, and that very feeling will spark a desire within them to do everything they can to keep you close. The energy of the cards paints a beautiful vision. This person is willing to accommodate you, to give you everything you need in order to feel at ease. It's as if they're saying, come, sit upon this horse and let me walk beside you. I'll walk, and you just enjoy the ride. It's an image of gentle, heartfelt care, an act of love that flows sincerely from the heart. This promises to be a radiant and blossoming chapter in your love life. So, in the first half of June, you will be receiving a great deal of love and sweetness. You will clearly feel that you are loved by your partner, by the one who holds your heart. And truly, that is only natural. Because you are someone who is worthy of love. For you, love is not a coincidence, it's your birthright. Allow yourself to believe that I am loved, and I deserve to be. Receive that love fully, with grace and gratitude. You are becoming someone who can say thank you with sincerity and ease, and that openness is making you even more magnetic. The cards reveal that a truly beautiful energy is coming your way. The image of a dove, the symbol of pure, unconditional love, also appears, emphasizing that you will be surrounded by warmth and affection, not only in romantic love, but in your relationships overall. It's as if the people around you are all sending the same message: we need you. Show us what you have. You are the one we've been waiting for. It's not just your partner. The entire world around you is offering you affection and recognition. This person wants to give you more, to love you deeply, to care for you, and express that love through tangible, meaningful actions. And you, radiant and glowing, need only to receive it all with the grace you deserve, as if to say, I am a blooming flower, and I welcome all sweet things as my natural birthright. That alone is enough. You don't need to strive or try harder. Truly, this is an incredibly beautiful reading. So much so that I find myself wishing I could draw a reading like this for myself. It's truly delightful, a genuine joy. Now, for those of you who are seeking love, the first card delivers a clear message: love yourself first. In order to welcome love from someone else, you must first learn to love and value yourself. And once you truly do that, a happy surprise will appear, a beautiful gift that comes as a well-earned reward for your inner journey of growth. The layouts of the two cards look remarkably similar. This visual echo suggests that what you once imagined, visions that lived only in your dream world, like meeting an ideal partner, a unicorn-like figure conjured in your mind, may very well become real. That's the message being sent to you now. This dream is no longer just a fantasy, it's drawing closer to your reality. And for that to happen, one key element is required: compassion for yourself, genuine self-love. This is the recurring theme, that in order to attract such a beautiful encounter, the first step is to turn love inward. When you care for yourself with tenderness and appreciation, you are paving the way for a love that truly matches your spirit to enter your life. When looking toward the future, the cards reveal this. The reason you are able to attract something so magical is because you have learned how to love yourself. Integration is taking place, the unification of light and shadow within you. And it begins by placing your heart back into your own hands. Here, self-love does not mean trying to fix or eliminate the parts of you that you consider flawed. Nor does it mean trying to forgive or justify them. It simply means recognizing that they are also very real parts of who you are. It's the moment you can say to yourself, yes, I have this side and I have that side too. And that's okay. For example, you may be a gentle person, but that gentleness may come with a tendency to hesitate or feel indecisive. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It could be that your difficulty in making decisions stems from your constant consideration for others, from always putting their feelings first. And that, in another light, is the sign of a sensitive and deeply loving heart. So instead of judging yourself through the lens of good or bad, right or wrong, learn to see yourself as a whole and complete being, with all your pieces, both strong and tender. No one is perfect. And it is precisely that imperfection that makes you real, profound, and deeply magnetic. Recognize this and embrace yourself with full understanding and love. Because in that very moment, you won't just attract love from others, you'll also draw in love from the universe itself. And then, a beautiful surprise awaits you this June. Congratulations, a wonderful encounter, a long-dreamed-of connection, is truly approaching you in the first half of the month. What a truly wonderful message. Congratulations on the blossoming and fulfillment of your love, whether you're already in a relationship or still seeking a new one. Next, let's take a look at what you need to keep in mind during the upcoming period. It appears that this June, you won't just be receiving love from your significant other, you'll also be met with a wave of admiration and praise from those around you. This is a time when you shine, when you're seen, acknowledged, and admired, not just by one special person, but by the world around you. A month filled with recognition and heartfelt appreciation is waiting for you. However, the Six of Cups card has appeared, carrying the energy of old memories, familiar feelings, and echoes of the past. Alongside it comes the Reconciliation card. While not a warning, the combined energy of these two cards is like a gentle message. Let the past illuminate your path. As you prepare for a new beginning, it's possible you may feel some uncertainty or fear in the face of change. If that happens, the guidance for you is this: return to your roots, reconnect with what once stirred your heart, with the things that once nourished your soul. You can do this in the simplest of ways, by listening again to a song you loved back in your school days, rereading a book that once inspired you, or simply recalling the dreams you held as a child. Let those nostalgic feelings guide you, for within them lies a very real part of you, the purest essence of your heart, something you may have momentarily forgotten over the years. When you reconnect with that part of yourself, the fear of stepping into something new begins to dissolve. Because in truth, you're not starting over from zero, you're returning to something that has always been within you. And that is a truly beautiful journey. When you come back to the beginning, when you return to your roots, you move closer to your true nature. And as that happens, the doubts and uncertainty in your heart will begin to fade. Because when you remember what you genuinely love, you'll find yourself again, the pure, original version of you, untouched by the rush of life or the expectations of adulthood. On the journey of growing up, All of us will be shaken at some point. But that's only natural. As human beings, we need experiences, we need collisions, and often, it is through those moments of being thrown off balance that we come to understand the world. Still, there comes a time when you long to return to your own center, the place where you can clearly feel what truly matters to you. When you return to the beginning, you'll remember what once stirred your heart. For instance, if you're feeling confused or uncertain about the path ahead, try visiting your old home, your old room if it still exists, the space that once held the earliest pieces of who you are. Or go back to the neighborhood where you grew up, the streets you walked as a child. The sights, sounds, and scents of the past, a familiar song, a particular perfume, an old object you were once attached to can awaken something deep within you. That is where the answers lie. So instead of rushing off in search of something new, return to the history of your own life. What you once loved, once longed for, once began, that is where you will find the light. Even if you're currently engaged in something you've been pursuing for a long time, there is always a first spark, a moment of beginning, and reconnecting with the feelings from that time can help you realign with your center. The message is clear. It's not that you need to search for something new, it's that you need to touch again what has always been within you. Go back into the story of your life there. The answers await. Now, let's look at the lucky color for this month, the shade that will uplift and support you throughout your journey. The first lucky color is bronze, a color that represents the strengthening of physical vitality. So this month, you'll receive great support by moving your body intentionally. This could be through going to the gym, stretching, or engaging in any form of physical activity that helps you feel more energized. Reconnecting with your body is also a powerful way to ground yourself and restore inner stability. Next is the color rose, a shade that helps you attract ideal relationships. This is the color of love and blooming femininity. The energy of rose brings softness, allure, and a sense of being cherished. It's especially supportive for those of you who are in a phase of heart expansion and longing for deep, healthy love. For your career and professional life, the color that supports you is pearl. Pearl symbolizes connection with the sacred and carries a sense of purity, elegance, and depth. This color not only enhances your intuition, but also elevates your professional energy, especially for those working in artistic, spiritual, or caregiving fields. The gentle grace of pearl seems to call you back to the most sacred essence of your purpose. Taken together, these colors create a beautifully balanced and refined palette. If you use them as the primary tones in your clothing, personal items, or even profile pictures, they will help raise your energetic frequency and draw positive experiences toward you. Regarding health, the important message coming through is, don't become overly confident in your current physical condition. The Angel of Strength card appears as a gentle reminder that even if things seem to be going well, if you're filled with joy and opportunities, your body still needs to be cared for attentively. In the coming days, romantic opportunities and exciting encounters may keep you busy, swept up in a whirlwind of joyful emotions. But alongside all of that, you may also face moments of inner uncertainty. That's why it's so important to always carve out time for yourself, time to rest, to reconnect with your inner world, to nurture both your mental and physical well-being. This is how you maintain inner balance and resilience. Additionally, when it comes to not being complacent about your health, pay attention to the seemingly minor details, such as sleep deprivation, an unbalanced diet, or lifestyle habits that aren't truly nourishing. You may be someone who's used to pushing through everything without major issues, but right now, as Earth's energetic frequency is undergoing noticeable shifts, many people are beginning to feel unfamiliar sensations and changes within their bodies. This is a time of rapid and continuous change, a period of turbulence that may leave both your mind and body feeling breathless. That's why prioritizing rest, recovery, and reconnection with your physical self is more important than ever. Give yourself the space to slow down and realign your rhythm of life so you can adapt to the incoming waves of energy with greater ease and gentleness. That said, there's no need for worry. Your guardian deities and spiritual protectors are still watching over you with steadfast support. Their energy doesn't signal any danger to your health. Rather, it gently reminds you not to become overconfident. Pay attention to the subtle messages your body is sending and care for yourself with both attentiveness and love. The lucky foods for this month are those with traditional roots, such as rice flour cakes and fish-based dishes. These foods not only bring a comforting sense of familiarity, but also carry a gentle, pure energy that helps restore balance and vitality to the body. Your lucky items this month include objects in shades of bronze, pearl, or rose. Items carrying these colors act as natural talismans. You might wear jewelry, use accessories, or simply choose clothing in these hues to attract positive energy into your life. The card Mystic Medicine Sanctuary brings a sacred message. You are surrounded by a field of spiritual healing, and you also have the power to create such a sanctuary yourself. This is a perfect time to establish a sacred space within your home, a small corner where you can meditate, rest, connect with your soul, and receive healing from the universe. The image of the bear appears as a complementary symbol, offering a message of inner strength and protection. You may feel drawn to bear-shaped objects for extra support, or find comfort simply in keeping a soft bear-themed item close to you. The bear represents stability, guardianship, and deep connection to nature, qualities that are especially aligned with your energy at this time. Let this month become a gentle sanctuary for your soul, a space where you are free to be yourself, to feel loved, and to heal within the embrace of the universe. Those who chose this pile seem to deeply long for connection with themselves, yet at the same time, there is a subtle fear when it comes to truly facing who they are. It feels as though you want to awaken, but there's hesitation in discovering your true self, and so you linger between those two states. However, this process will unfold gradually. The most important thing is, don't rush. I sense that you carry a powerful energy. Perhaps in past lifetimes, you experienced extraordinary things. Because of that strength within you, it's also possible that you've gone through difficult or intense experiences. Perhaps you once became too visible or used your abilities in ways that weren't entirely aligned. If such memories exist, they may now be holding you back, making you hesitant to open up completely. But what comes through clearly is this: you are thinking deeply. Your energy feels stretched between two opposing currents, and that is a sign that a great power lies within you, waiting to be awakened. You came to this earth carrying a great love, a vast and radiant love that you brought with you into this world. And from that very energy of love, what you will create in the time to come, what you will express and share, will not only uplift your own life, but also energize and nourish everyone else living on this planet. That love will become a healing light for many. I truly feel that you are someone who came into this world holding an abundance of light and love. Just recognizing that, just becoming aware and awakened to this truth, is already something profoundly precious. I will close the reading for those of you who chose pile 3 here. If what I've shared has offered you some guidance or even simply brought you a sense of joy or resonance, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click like to support me. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end of the video. Wishing you a peaceful and lucky day ahead. I look forward to seeing you again in the next reading.